Good afternoon, everybody. I'm James Cronenberger, and today I'm on the phone with Edward Lang, and we're going to talk about the proposal the state has in by two state representatives. The House bill is posted on the YouTube, and the two state reps that are proposing it is posted on here. But they're talking about an inhumane way to execute people, and some of them are innocent in the first place, but they plan on using gas and putting a mask over someone's face. Edward, tell us your take on this, and you know why you think it's inhumane.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, you talking about killing people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people most, they have to understand. Like, executing somebody, it's a fancy word, executing, but it's you killing someone.
It's murder.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, right, absolutely. So, when our death certificates, when they execute a prisoner, if they on a death certificate is labeled as a murder. It's not labeled as a suicide. It's not labeled as a natural death or whatever. It's labeled as a murder. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the bill, the death penalty abolition bill, is SB 101.
Right. Well, this is a House bill.
Right.
Right.
So, yes.
But they also, at the same time, quite a few Republicans have proposed. I think it was introduced already, and Senator Antonio was one of the sponsors. That is to do away with the death penalty as well, and that's what we're hoping pushes. We could work on life without parole after we stop executions. We need to spare these guys' lives. This House bill, they is inhumane. In Alabama, a guy was executed with a gas. He was gasping for air. He was shaking all over the place. Right there is the one reason they should not use that. Just like lethal injection, they're both inhumane. Okay, Edward. You seen what happened in Alabama, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it's not have been an execution since I've been on death row 17 years. There have been an execution since I've been on death row that I've seen that haven't had any issues. That's why, like, over the years, they kept, put moratoriums on it, kept postponing it. It gets stagnated for so long because there's always been complications. The thing about it is, right now, Ohio is under the 3-drug protocol. Midazolam is, I think, the main drug that's used to kill a prisoner or whatever. But it's been like 5-6 years since they last executed someone. I think the last person they executed was Robert Van Hook.
Yeah, at least 5 years.
That was like July 18th of 2018, I think.
Yeah, it was before I had my stroke. So yeah.
Right, and that's what kind of put a halt to the executions in Ohio. Under that protocol, prior to him, they had a guy, Gary Odie, and another guy, Ron Phillips. They both used the same 3-drug cocktail. And before then, the death penalty had been on hold for a number of years, dealing with the different methods they wanted to use, the different drugs and stuff like that. I think Robert Van Hook, his autopsy showed that he had water in his lungs. So the execution that was scheduled after him was Keith Hennis. And the judge out of Cincinnati, Mertz, put a halt to his execution because he considered, the method, he considered it like waterboarding or something to that effect. He said that based on the fact that your lungs will have water in it, it showed that we would suffer. And, execution should be, painless. It should be quick. It shouldn't be no suffering. It shouldn't be no pain involved.
It should be abolished, is what it should be.
Absolutely. But by their word, not mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, hold up, not right now. So that being said, he kind of put a halt to the executions, and DeWine kind of signed off on it. Now, DeWine, a lot of people think that because DeWine hasn't executed no one that he's against the death penalty, but
he supports it.
Right, he supports the death penalty. He just don't want it to be, cruel and unusual punishment. He gave the state options, where he allowed them to develop the kind of protocol that will allow them to resume executions, and that's what we have now with the Alabama situation. I think Oklahoma was the first one that proposed the cyanide gas mask, whatever it's called, for executions, and Mississippi went along with it, and Alabama was the first state that actually carried out the execution, which was 2 Fridays ago. However, it's clear that, they stated that the execution shouldn't take no more than like 2 minutes. He should be put on conscious, and then after a minute or so, he should, die. As sad as it may sound, he suffered for 22 minutes it was, gasping for
air. At least, yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that showed that he did suffer. But, like they did with Van Hook, like they did with Gary Oldie, like they did with Ron Phillips, and in other states with other prisoners that have been executed that have shown, physical signs of suffering, they try to make it seem like these prisoners are doing this deliberately in order to be able to bring attention to their execution and help other guys on death row. So really, it falls down to the autopsy. The autopsy had to show something for us to have a legal claim or legal basis to really go at it. You know what I'm saying? And there's no doubt in my mind that it will. It's just a matter of how long it would take. But it's kind of mind-boggling that our Attorney General, David Yost, kind of came out within days after the execution. It was kind of like he supported, he felt like, as long would do, he felt like Ohio will be executing the worst of the worst. And then when you really look at that, if you Google, Ohio's death row, and really look at the crimes, don't get me wrong, murder is a heinous act. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of murder is heinous. There's no, levels of like he killed this person this way or they killed him this way. So murder is murder, no matter how you look at it.
Right.
However, there's only 118 guys or give or take that's on Ohio's death row. Given the fact that it's hundreds of thousands of prisoners in Ohio and tens of thousands of murderers in Ohio. So it's like, how do you weigh what act is more heinous than the other one where, you have plea bargains at trial state levels where, prior to a person getting a trial and getting sentenced to death, they're able to plea bargain their way out of the death sentence. So if you feel like you're killing the worst of the worst, then why is a plea bargain an option? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that something that is considered? Not all serial killers are on death row. There's more people that got more heinous murders that's not on death row, that's never been facing the death penalty. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, how do you weigh? Who weighs this? Like, who's judge and a jury? Who's saying what is heinous and what is not? And then when you look at like death penalty cases, most of them are most death penalties are given out during election time. You know what I'm saying? Like we coming up on an election year. You know what I'm saying? So like more activity happens with the death penalty during an election time than it does, when it's not.
Right, and I think voters need to be a little bit more cautious on who they vote for. David Yost, we need to get out of office. Governor DeWine, thank God he can't run again. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. But what's crazy is that 50% of Americans, 50%, that number might have changed since that poll that statistic came out, but 50% of Americans support the death penalty. So it's like it's on a fence. However, Ohio's victims' families have supported this bill that sits in front of the House of repealing the death penalty because they feel like they haven't been given justice. The average life expectancy of a person on death row is 25 years under an appeal process. You know what I'm saying? So if you got guys there that's been sitting, 20, 25, 30, 35 years with just waiting.
Right.
You have 33 executions scheduled from now up until 2027 or later than that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So the taxpayer cost of us sitting on death row is extremely high.
Right.
A lot of that money that is used to carry out executions or used for the appeal process for the death penalty can go towards the victim's family. It can go towards other methods of deterring crime as opposed to putting someone on death row.
Right. Ed. At one time, I was very supportive of the death penalty. You're the one that pretty much convinced me about it and explained to me about it. And I grew up in a family that supported it, but after I got locked up, they weren't as supportive of the death penalty as they used to be.
Right.
You did convince me, on it. You're innocent for the first place. If you execute one innocent person, and they say 10% on death row is innocent or wrongfully convicted, if
Right.
that's the case, how can you take a chance of executing an innocent man?
Right. Absolutely. Not only that, not only that, in 2021, I believe, it was a bill that was passed that kept Ohio from executing, people that have severe mental illnesses
Right.
at the time of the crime. That have led up to like the SMI petition that's going on right now, where a lot of guys are filing it in order to be able to get off. It's like a mitigating factor. Like when you go through a trial, you face some death penalty. You have the actual trial for guilt and innocence, and then if you're found guilty, then you go through what is called a mitigation hearing. That mitigation is like they weigh like illnesses, abuse, and other things that try to humanize you in front of the eyes of the jury, and pretty much ask for sympathy. Ask them not to kill you based on whatever criteria that they feel is mitigating versus aggravating, which is the murder, the robbery, whatever led up to the nature of the offense.
Right.
However, you know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you from experience, that everybody on death row have mental illnesses based on whether they had it prior to death row or being on death row. This spot creates so much mental strain and so much emotional strain, so much physical strain. Like unlike normal prisoners in Ohio or any state for that matter, death row don't have nothing. We don't have rehabilitative programs. We don't have anything. We just left sitting in our cells. If we can afford a TV, we get a TV. If we can afford a radio, we get a radio. If we can afford commissary, we get commissary. However, we make use of our time. We read, we write, we play games, we interact, we play basketball and all that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, unlike, if I wasn't on death row, I can enroll in the college program. I can have a job. I can do things to keep me occupied and keep me, like going and keep me mentally kind of stable. And here we don't have none of that. So like, you see a lot of guys really struggling wholeheartedly with mental health illnesses that have developed. If I had bipolar or PTSD or antisocial disorder or whatever mental illnesses prior to me coming to death row, imagine what I have after 18, 20, 30 years sitting on death row with no form of help to try to get me, like some kind of, help for those issues. A lot of guys be in denial. Don't nobody want to be labeled crazy. Don't nobody want to take medication. There's nothing therapeutic in here. So, it's been a handful of guys. Recently, Hunter, Lamont Hunter from Cincinnati, Hamilton County. He was released after it showed that he was pretty much innocent for the crime that he was accused of. And, he was a good brother, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
God-fearing, spent a lot of his time productively. But, we're in prison, so sometimes it can get dark, and sometimes we can, fall victim to that darkness. And as a result of that, imagine releasing that person back into society or, in population, is not good. Like more money can be spent on things that's better for us. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to putting somebody on death row.
Yeah. How do you guys have visits?
You say, how do we do what?
How do you guys do your visits? Is it behind glass?
No, we used to. We have regular visits, but we're chained to the floor.
Wow.
We're chained to the floor. Yeah.
Like an animal.
Absolutely. We chained to the floor. So that's that's the issue. Right now they about to move death row to another prison, Ross Correctional Institution.
Right across the street.
60 days.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, but like, with the death penalty itself, it's been 31 executions that's scheduled over the next several years. How these would take place as of right now, if they rule with this gas mask, it might prolong things for a period of time. But as of right now, we just hoping that this bill gets supported. And like you said, voting, sharing content. A lot of people don't watch the news. A lot of people don't listen to the news and the radio. A lot of people don't read newspapers. However, a lot of people are on social media. So like listening to this interview, if you do come across things that you might see on social media, share them, hashtag it, pass it along, because it creates more support for it, especially with the younger generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the younger guys don't know about the death penalty. They think, like, a lot of people think when they read my case and they see what I'm on death row, they're confused. Like, how can you be on death row for something like that? And I'm like, it's political. It's not about what I did or didn't do.
But you claim innocence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% innocent.
Okay.
I'm 100%. And my situation came down to he say, she said. The person that I was with, we agreed to rob somebody. He was a dope dealer. I was in the streets. I was out there, living foul and all of that. And as a result, we was robbing drug dealers. And one of the guys that we decided to rob at the time, unbeknownst to me, the guy that I was with, he knew the guy. And for whatever reason, once everything transpired, he chose to kill a guy and, the person that he was with. And, we in the streets, mind you. So I just, I didn't really think too much of it. I went on about my business thinking like it wasn't my issue, it wasn't my problem. A couple of days later, in trying to help him get rid of the gun, I ended up getting caught up because I was pulled over and boxed in and found with the murder weapon. And they allowed him to testify against me in exchange for a plea deal saying that I committed the crime. However, the crime happened in a car. Blood splatter, GSR residue, that is something that is considered evidence. So I have no blood splatter. I have no GSR on my clothes. They had the exact clothes that I had on. If you look at the crime scene photos, you will see that the person that set where they say I set should have blood on him. I should have GSR on me. I should have some form of DNA on me. I don't have none. They never tested none of his clothes to determine whether or not he could have had blood on him. He could have had GSR on him, any of these things.
But what county was this in?
This was Stark County.
Okay.
Stark County.
That's Akron, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it's Stark County. It's Canton, Ohio.
Oh, Canton. Okay.
Yeah, Canton, Ohio. So, yeah, I mean, they allowed another person to testify in exchange for a lighter sentence on a drug case. Like I said, like the scientific evidence, the DNA, the GSR, I have none.
Huh.
You can't ignore that. And it have been ignored. My case kind of got pushed through the system. I can't really get into the details of what we got going on right now, but I will be in court very soon. I should have been months ago, and very soon I will be liberated from the death penalty.
I'm gonna plan a protest probably for June, and I'm not a big fan of protesting anymore because you got to get 100 or more people at a protest. But I would like to do one opposing the death penalty and supporting the bill to oppose the death penalty, and thank those people like Senator Michelle Reynolds. She's opposing the death penalty, and she also opposes this way with the gas, and she's a Republican. I'm a Democrat now, but
right, for sure.
Yeah.
I got some things going on. As well. Social media is the biggest impact that a person can have right now. Until we able to get enough people to support a physical rally, social media is the best way to go about things. Hashtag, keep sharing, keep the movement alive, keep the content, keep the conversation alive. On my social media platforms for the next day or so, I got some things that I plan on posting on my social media platforms. My Instagram account is true_royalty87. That's TRU_royalty87. That's the Instagram. My TikTok is the life of a prisoner, DA life of a prisoner. My Facebook is Edward Lang. We have YouTube channels, EBK, Shake Some, that's Some with an SUM, or Eddie Band Count with a KENT. We're trying to get content out here, and right now we're in the development stages of getting content out here. But if you follow me on those social media platforms for the next day or so, I will have more information available, as well as other things that we're going to be discussing about prison reform, about police brutality, about stop the violences in states, cities, especially Columbus, Ohio, is definitely at a forefront of gun violence, and we definitely need to change that. You know what I'm saying? And if you have any kind of platform, whether it be social media, whether it be whatever it may be, definitely got to spread the message and spread the word. Support the bill that's in front of the House the repeal the death penalty. Vote. Voting is the biggest power that we have. The DAs that hand out these sentences, the judges that confirm these sentences, the governors, the attorney generals, all these are elected officials. If you don't vote for them, they will stay in office, or people will get put in office that goes against what you believe. You know what I'm saying? Don't just vote for a governor. Don't just vote for a president. Vote for a DA. Vote for a judge that is for us. When I say for us, that's really going to, if you believe in the law and you feel like, justice should be served, it should be served correctly, not, politically. It shouldn't be, bartered. It shouldn't be, taken lightly. People should be found guilty of crimes they actually committed, not circumstantial evidence, not, hypothetical stuff, not he say, she say. Overwhelming majority of guys is locked up off of testimony, off of snitching, off of, pointing the finger, not off of physical evidence.
If people are looking for your Facebook page, because I can't find it, what's the profile picture so they would know?
It should be a picture of me. I have dreads, dark skin. It's Edward Lang. If you go to my Instagram page, it'll link you to it. My Instagram page is TRU_ROYALTY87. My profile picture is me, of course, with green shirt on, I have dreads. So it'll link you to the Facebook.
Yeah, if you could have your family send me a friend request under James Cronenberger.
You sound kind of muffled, Jen.
Yeah, if you could have your family send me a Facebook friend request under James Cronenberger, because I can't find it. It's just going to be easier that way. I have him on Instagram, folks. I can't send friend requests anymore on TikTok. I have too many friends; they won't let me. But being on the social media, he'll keep you posted. Hopefully, If you ever talk to other fellow people on death row, it'd be nice to get their intake as well on this gas that they're planning to use, so we could get some kind of idea, how you guys feel. I know you oppose it, and if they do away with the death penalty, you have life without parole, then we could also fight the life without parole thing.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a big step if they abolish the death penalty, because then we have hope.
The main thing is people need to do some research. You got $1 billion technology in your hand on the phone. You can Google anything. Instead of, sitting on the phone Googling stupid stuff. Google what we talking about. Google Ohio death penalty. Google American death penalty. Google the crimes that people are on death row for. Really take, into consideration of what you read and really weigh it. It doesn't make sense. The death penalty doesn't make sense. It doesn't fix nothing. You say that I should be put to death for killing somebody, so I should be killed. That makes no sense. At that point, the person that killed me should be killed, right? I mean, it doesn't make no sense.
Right. And any medical professional that helps put a person to death is going against what they were taught in medical school. They're supposed to save people's lives.
And that's why they're going with the gas mask, because pharmaceutical compounds refuse to sell states the drugs that they need, because they are executing people with them. And then a lot of them have started with European Union laws and overseas markets that prohibit them from selling the drugs to American companies that use drugs for inhumane reasons, right?
Right.
So a lot of the physicians that they was using to carry out the executions, they when they became public about what was going on, the secrecy laws and all that, they opted out. So now with the gas mask, eliminates any doctors or nurses or medical professions from administering and carrying out the executions. It allows just a staff person with no degree, with no medical degree, with no anything. A person that just got, a job with the state of Ohio or any state that executes somebody. Yeah. They are the ones that is carrying out these executions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, 1 or 2 states, I think it started in Nevada. Oh, no, I don't know if it's Nevada or I forget what state it is, but they're doing hanging, firing squad, lethal injection, and gas chamber.
Utah was the last state to carry out firing squad.
Right.
Yeah, that was the last state to carry out the firing squad.
Could you? Yeah, but can you imagine, folks, having a mask over you, knowing somebody's going to shoot you in the heart? What would be going through your mind? Just think what these guys are going through. It's abuse, mental abuse, and physical abuse.
Right, the abuse start prior to that. It start the amount of years and decades that adds up to us sitting on death row in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of issues get brought up about the taxpayer dollars, and basically taxpayer dollars. If you want to argue that issue, taxpayer dollars are getting wasted. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're getting wasted with sentencing people to death row.
Yeah, recently I haven't seen too many people sentenced to death. I wonder if the judges have, just gave them life sentences or what. But I don't know if you see new people coming in or not.
Yeah, it hasn't been in a number of years. I was surprised without really going into no names or cases. Within the last maybe 2 or 3 years, there have been a handful of murder cases that surprised me that they didn't get the death penalty because they was what they considered the worst of the worst, most heinous crimes you can commit. One within this area not too long ago with a family murdered another family and things of that nature. Yeah, I mean, for a while with the death penalty being on hold, they wasn't sentencing nobody to death row. We was under the assumption that was either the start of them actually getting rid of the death penalty. Then, with DeWine's last run, this is last term in office, he figured eventually they don't have no drugs, they won't execute nobody, so he would, get rid of it. But now with what's going on in Alabama, and with Attorney General David Yost coming out saying that they are adopted a bill to, get this gas mask stuff going in Ohio, we definitely need people to rally against it. And the victims' families are against the death penalty at this point. They support the bill to repeal the death penalty.
And our Attorney General, the rumor is he's going to run for governor. We cannot support somebody that is inhumane, that does not have compassion. Yes, I mean, some of the crimes were hideous, and some people do need to be in prison, for life. But there's also some innocent people there as well.
Absolutely.
So you can't, you can't take a chance just to kill.
Right. The most important thing: start a conversation on your social media platforms, talk about the death penalty, getting people aware of what's going on, not just in Ohio, but around the country. It's cruel, unusual punishment. It has no meaning. It has no merit. Don't deter crime. It's sickening. You know what I'm saying? And if you care about human life, any life, you know what I'm saying? Executing people is not the way to go about it. Dogs get treated, animals get treated with more respect and dignity than what, executing somebody on under a death sentence, does. Support it. Follow us on social media platforms. Like I say, my Instagram is, TRU_royalty87. TikTok, The Life of a Prisoner, DA, Life of a Prisoner. My Facebook, Edward Lang, YouTube, EBK Shake Something, or Every Band Count with a KENT. Within the next coming days, I'm going to put more information available on the death penalty available on my social media platforms, as well as
you have 1 minute remaining.
There's other topics as well, so stay tuned, hashtag it, share it, and support it.
And have your family share this and everybody around. And we're going to do part 2 eventually. This is part 1. We have other topics that we want to discuss with Edward Lang. I would like to do one also on his innocence. If the man is innocent, he should get support. People like the Innocence Project is helping some people. So I'm hoping that they can get involved in your case someday too, Edward.
I'm gonna call you back when I'm ready to run.
Okay, give me about a half hour, okay?
All right. Cool.
Thanks, brother.
Y'all take it easy. Be safe out there.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Thank you for using
Okay.
PTL.
Yeah, everybody, please share this video and subscribe to our channel. It's under James Cronenberger, Hope for the Community. And let's make a difference. How's that one?